Hello people, welcome to another video about Canadian immigration and statistics. This compilation is based on actual numbers up to October 2021 and today is December 22nd. These analyses help us to understand the immigration process, identify trends and patterns, maybe in a hope that these could be helpful in planning our immigration. So let's get into it. The first slide I have is about the citizenship of the people who moved into Canada, and as I've been talking about, Indians have a lion's share when it comes to immigration into any country, be it Canada, Australia, Middle East, elsewhere. They have the lion's share in immigration. This followed by other countries like China, Nigeria, and then rest of the world. So I can say Indians are about 60% this year. Now this slide tells us about the preferred destinations by new immigrants. We can see that big majority of them, 60% plus, settled down in Ontario, followed by 25% in British Columbia, and a small portion, about 10% to 7%, settled down in Alberta. These three places contribute about like 95% or 92% of the total people settling down in Canada. The yellow color, or 7 or 8%, represents entire Canada or rest of the Canada. This slide is very important. We can see that, but before that, we know that Canadian immigration system is based on scores, where you get particular points for your age, education, experience, and all that. Whereas the age plays a very important part because the way the scoring system works, after 35 there is a sharp decline in the points given to that individual. So here we can see that system is clearly tilted and it is getting more inclined towards the younger people, and we can see that the people in the age group of 19 to 29 years of age, they are literally growing in terms of getting invitations into Canada. So this year they totaled almost, I would say, 70%. Followed by the people who are in the age bracket of 30 to 39, and lastly old chaps like me, 40 plus, they are having very small share. So the key takeaway of this slide is that please plan early. Now this slide is also related to age, kind of related, because age is a good contributor towards CRSS score. And here we can see that big majority of the people, almost like 60% to 30 to 60%, they are in a range of a score which is 450 to 500. When I went to details, I can see clearly that the average cutoff or median cutoff is about 470 or 470 points plus. This means that anybody having a score of 450 is kind of going to Canada. Anybody having 475 plus, it means they are sure to go. It's only a matter of time. Now the people who are having a score something between 400 to 450, they have a chance of fluke if selected for some reason, but in general no. And anybody having less than 400, then they must seek some other programs like investors, innovators, entrepreneurs, and all that. There's one thing I would like to talk about, that this year many of my friends contacted me and told me that agents are telling them that the cutoff scores have significantly dropped, as we can see in this blue bar which represents 2021, and we can see that the scale came down. They are issuing invitations to people who are in a range of 400 to 450 points, and this is what many agents are using as a marketing tactic. And I felt my friends are trying to tell me that my analysis are wrong. So basically these agents are playing a double game. I would say is fraudulent marketing. Yes, indeed the CRSS score went down, but it does not relate to the programs in which many of the people who have never been to Canada apply. That's something we'll see in the next slide. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. Before I go and talk about agents stuff, we can see that there are three, like there are many programs, but we can classify them into three broad categories. So we can see that 1/3 or up to 40% of the people were selected from a pool which is called CEC, or Canadian Experience Class, and then like something like 40 to 50% were selected from the pool called FSW, or Federal Skilled Workers Program. This is where people like me, they fall into play. Like we have never been to Canada, we never studied there, we never went there on a temporary work permit or something. So this is where many people like me and you apply. This one is for the people who have been there for some reason, right, like education or something. And this, the last portion, the gray color, represents the province programs, like nomination programs, and we can see they had a 15% share, roughly speaking. Now what happened after COVID in 2019, we see that the trend started to shift. And again, I've been saying this very clearly in the previous videos, that the selections will be made locally from CEC pool. I mean, these are the people who are already there in Canada on different visas, like student visas or temporary work permit. And if you go back and see my previous videos, I've been saying that the system will tilt toward these people because of obvious reasons. Because, for example, there was literally a ban on air travel, right? So Canadians chose to select people from CEC pool, and we can see that from 36% it went up to 2020. It went up to 55% in 2020, and then eventually almost 90% of the people were selected from this pool, whereas people like me who applied in FSW kept waiting, and now like my profile is expired. So what this tells me that please do not listen to the agents who are telling you the scores are low. Yes, scores are low, but it's not for us and you and me. It's for the people who are already residing in Canada on different categories of visa, or like they don't have permanent residencies. So this is for those people, not for us. All right, so let's move on, and let's talk about the professions which were invited into Canada. This is also one of the top questions asked. We can see that there's a clear pattern that whether it is a provincial program or a federal program, both of them more or less closely follow same professions. So if we talk about top 3, 2173, 6311, 2174, we can see that both of the streams took similar professions. Now when we go into the details that what these codes represent or mean, we can see that in the next slide, and here you can pause the video if necessary. But if we go down here, we can see that 2173, 2174 are people associated with software development or software industry, followed by people in 6311. So my takeaway from this is that people associated with computers, software development, engineering, system design, system analysts, they have a better chance as compared to other professionals. And also people like butchers, chefs, cooks, they also have a bright chance of being invited into Canada. So please do not delay, and if you have to design your profile, then please keep this in mind. I'm not saying fake things up, but I'm saying you have to develop your profile accordingly. All right, so finally the tips I've been talking about, I'll just repeat them very quickly. That if we have a bigger picture in our mind, immigration as a process becomes much easier. It helps us to plan, like where should we land, where should we prefer to live, which NOC code to select, etc. The best age to take immigration is 25 to 35. After 35, the CRS score in terms of age points drops very significantly, so start early. Third tip I always give: if somebody has a low score, then please try to maximize your IELTS. Do best you can. IELTS or CELPIP, these are proper exams. They are not just the exams about English. They are literally proper exams. They test your memory, comprehension, time management. So practice is the key here. Again, one other way that we cannot put our age in the reverse gear. But what we can do, if we have a low score, we can try to upgrade our education. We can, for example, if somebody has a graduate degree or something, they can go for PGD, or they can go for masters, or maybe even for a doctorate program. So these are the things that people can try. Instead of giving up, they should try and plan to achieve the next milestone in a hope to increase or improve the CRS score. One other thing people can try with low score is to emigrate without the spouse, assuming they are married, right? So the way the system works, I will maybe do a video on that. They give somewhat higher points to people moving without their spouses. You can always add your spouse later, but if you're in a situation where you feel you need to emigrate, then this is your option. If you are late in applying, or for some reason you are not invited, then it doesn't mean that the world has come to an end. I hope my videos help you, and if anybody has questions, please post in the comments. I will respond. Thanks for watching. Have a nice weekend. Bye.